Hello and welcome to a new Steps Gaming, where I'm going to be trying some new things, talking more about console games, things like that. And this first video is a topic that came up because I was talking with happy console gamer Johnny Millennium at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo about a week ago. And I was talking to him about games I played because of his channel. And it got me thinking about what are my gaming regrets? Because a lot of these games that he recommended in his show were games that I just either missed or overlooked because I was playing other things in the era. Because I was alive in this era. He's just a little bit older than me, like 6 years or something. So, 16-bit era came. I was about 10, 11, 12, 13 years old about this time. And I missed out on a lot of really amazing games. I'm watching his show. He's romanticizing all these RPGs. He's like, Ease Book 1 and 2, one of my favorite games ever.
That was me. That was me for the TurboGrafx CD. I was like, holy shit, I couldn't believe how fucking amazing it looked. Blew my mind. And oh my god, the cinema was so, jaw-dropping. Couldn't believe it. It was incredible stuff. And we couldn't believe what we were seeing.
Phantasy Star
1 on the Sega Master System. One of my favorite video games of all time.
Chrono Trigger, all sorts of RPGs, Final Fantasy series, whatever. And I didn't play a lot of these, right? And I'll get into that, but I was playing something else. And this is my regret. All the hours, all the time I spent playing these games that I could have been playing something much cooler, right? So, you're gonna ask yourself, what was I playing? What are you ashamed of? What do you wish you hadn't played? And why is this your gaming regret? And I spent countless hours. It was my favorite thing. And I absolutely had a lot of fun. But looking back on it, I wish I had done something different. I really did. And that is playing sports games. Okay, there's my confession. I played a lot of hours of EA Sports. It's in the game.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
I guess it was in the game, but it was in the game every year. It was in the game every year. I was a big Sega Genesis person. I bought a Sega Genesis. I always wanted a Master System. I never had a Master System. I was given a Nintendo when I was about 8 years old. And so I rolled the Nintendo, and then when Sega Genesis came out, I had to go enroll and get that right away. And you know what was really big on Sega Genesis? Sports games.
16-bit sports strategy.
You can't do this on Nintendo Genesis does.
16-bit sports moves.
You can't do this on Nintendo Genesis.
Sports games were huge on Sega Genesis. Now, when Sega Genesis broke over the years, it just broke, and I should have kept it. I probably could have fixed it, but years ago I got rid of it. And so I still have a Super Nintendo, so this is kind of the remembrance of my collection. I have a couple pieces here on a Super Nintendo, but just remember, I was a big Sega Genesis fan. NHL 94. This was a great sports game.
NHL
Jeremy,
94.
Come on, sit down.
Screw NHL 94.
I am still happy to have this in my collection. I don't regret playing NHL 94, but overall I wish I spent less time playing sports games, right? We got John Madden 95. John Madden 95. Every year. See, every year I'd update these on the Sega Genesis. I'd got NHL 93, NHL 94, 95, 96, 97, all of it. Then I got a couple Super Nintendo ones, but every year that's what I get asked for Christmas. Christmas is coming? Okay, I want NHL 95 this year. I got 94 last year. It's time for 95. Same game over and over and over again. So more reason to regret, right? And ESPN National Hockey Night. Look at that. I was more of a hockey fan than anything else. I'm not, I was a big Pittsburgh Penguins fan. I met Jaromir Jagr when I was a kid. Stanley Cup. This was actually made by Nintendo. This is a different game. It's cool. And then, of course, they had the NBA series In this case, this is Bulls versus Blazers. I think the first one I had was Bulls versus Lakers for the Sega Genesis. But I think I made sure, since I no longer had a Sega Genesis, I had at least one of the items in my Super Nintendo collection, because I don't buy every single game. I just, I have a couple collections, And the other game I played a lot of, and I do not regret, that I still play to this day, and I still enjoy, is Street Fighter. So, Street Fighter. Fighting games in general. Anyway, so I would get together with my friends, and we all played the same games. I mean, we're playing, like, you get together, you play Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat 2, sports games. We would have tournaments where we would have, like, a Super Nintendo and a Sega Genesis, and we would be like, okay, we're at an NHL tournament, and your first round might be on a Sega Genesis, but then your second round might be on a Super Nintendo. You didn't know what you're gonna get, you just kind of went with the tournament and go out with the bracket, and then, so you had to be good at both versions, and both versions were a little bit different, so you had to stay on your toes. It was definitely an advantage to have both copies of the NHL, because we played a lot of NHL, a lot of Madden, John Madden, and, Madden would say the same thing over and over again. You'd play, like, he flattened him like a pancake. Put a little too much mustard on that one.
He put all the mustard on the brat. Let's watch that velocity at normal speed.
Over and over and over again. And, eventually they took the Madden out of the game. And that was kind of sad. Madden was still alive at the time, and they took him out. And they were having other people play call. But to me, Madden was always about John Madden. I don't regret playing John Madden, I should say. I just regret buying it every year, playing all these games, countless hours, and I could have been having an awesome adventure, like, because of Happy Console Gamer, I played Ys Book 1 and 2 finally on the TurboGrafx and the CD. And hadn't I watched a bunch of videos of him saying how awesome this game is, I probably wouldn't have been reminded of it, because I remember seeing it in Electronic Gaming Monthly, and it was rated very high, and I was like, oh man, that's awesome. But when you're like 10, 11, 12 years old, you go to Toys R Us, and it's like, how much is this? TurboGrafx CD, $400. You're like, $400? And it was hard to justify. Not only that, but like the game selection wasn't as big on the CD consoles, the Sega CD, the Turbo CD, that they were on the consoles. And the TurboGrafx 16 console could be had for dirt cheap. It was like 60, 70 bucks. But then it didn't come with two controllers. You had to buy an adapter to have two controllers, so forth and so on. So I ended up never getting a TurboGrafx 16. And I look back, I play a lot of those games now. I absolutely love it. But back to the point here. I regret not spending more time playing role-playing games. But at the same point, I don't know if I had the attention span then. So it's kind of hard to say, but I wish I had some better memories, and I think, like, the memories I have are just hanging out and playing the sports games, and a lot of those people that I played those games with, they don't play video games anymore, or if they do, I don't hang out with them, and if you try to talk to them, they're busy. I mean, everybody's got a life. They got an adult life, and a lot of people just quit gaming. I mean, it was kind of that thing back then, like, you were supposed to, games were, like, no different than action figures or anything like that. You're supposed to grow out of it. Video games were for children, right? Now, there was a couple, adults here or there that played video games, but it just wasn't as common. So, like, yeah, I am at that edge of millennial and Gen X, and, a lot of people, they just stopped, and so I don't, like, have people that I can, like, bring on the show and say, hey, let's talk about games, and, I guess that's a regret, too, but I do talk about them, and I love games. I love playing NHL 94. Again, I'm not gonna lie, but this is a regret for me. I could have been playing some Grand Adventure, and you'll see in a future video I'm gonna publish. I went on a hike to Mount Rainier, and that was a real life adventure, and I love having that experience. Like, if it wasn't for games like Happy Console Gamer saying about Dragon Quest, I wouldn't have gone back and played that series, because I had Dragon Quest 8 on PS2 when I was in college, and, like, I don't know if I was too busy. I don't know what it was. I knew it was a good game, but I never got too far into the game, And so I think I watched one of his videos, and then I downloaded the demo for Dragon Quest 11, and then I just started playing it, and I was like, oh my god, this is so good. Then I had to buy the game, and then I played 20 hours of it, and I go, okay, the 20 hours is enough. I don't have no 100 hours. And so I quit for like 5 years, and now I'm playing it again. You know, and it's good. I want to keep playing it. I want to keep playing it. It's hard to find the time. But I see the appeal. I see the adventure. And I wish when I was younger I spent more time. Now, granted, when I was in college I did beat Final Fantasy X, which was the first Final Fantasy I beat. Because I played 7 almost all the way through. But Final Fantasy X I played all the way through. And from what I remember, it took like 50, 60 hours. It wasn't 100 hours. It was a good amount. I don't need 100 hours. I wish games were shorter, but so many people love playing their games that we're getting 100-hour games. And so, the game's good. Let's go for it, I guess. Let's go for it. Let's see if we could do it. I did play Ys Book 1 and 2 all the way through when I got the TurboGrafx Mini, or the PC Engine Mini. It took about 20 hours-ish, maybe 21, 22 hours. I believe I got close to 100% on that game of doing every little thing. And a great game, great adventure. I could have been playing that instead of playing sports games and getting nothing accomplished. You hear that? Blast the speakers if you're watching this. Sports games are a waste of time. It's okay to waste time now and then, but not waste too much time. Not waste too much time. This is a time waster too. I you know, but it's a good game. I don't regret playing any minute of Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2 is great, and then I constantly get better even now. I wish I had more patience. To see, when I was a kid and I played my friends, I'd beat them all and they all quit and they don't want to play. So I never got any better. Now I can play online, all these cool things, and everybody whoops my butt, and then I'm like, crap, what do I do now? And you have to get better. And you may never get as good as some of these people, because all they do is play Street Fighter all day. And that's not going to be you. And that's fine. That's fine. I like to play too many different games, so I'll never be the best of the best on that, and that's fine. But yeah, play what you enjoy, you know, and yeah, I enjoyed the sports games, but looking back, I missed out on so much. I could have collected so many more games that are worth money, but I probably would have sold them, let's be honest. I probably would have sold them all. Because every time something new came out, you know, I think of our generation, most of us sold them and got the next best thing. Except there were some people, you know, you see them on YouTube that never got rid of their stuff. And you look at their wall of games, and you're like, holy crap, they have like 200K in games. And they do. And I don't know if I could sit there and look at that. I would probably be tempted to sell it even now, even though I like games. Having a few items here or there that are worth a decent amount of money is a lot more restraining. You're like, oh, I have that, that's special, I want to keep it. But when you have a lot of it, I don't know. I think I'd be more tempted to sell. But yeah, looking back, biggest gaming regret. Sports games. What's your biggest gaming regret? What is it? Let me know in the comments down below. I would love to have a conversation about it. I'm probably going to make more gaming regret videos down the road because there's lots more to talk about. I look forward to it. And yeah. I guess nothing left to say, but see you in the next video.